If you've tried to follow a financial plan and quit halfway through, this video is for you. Maybe it was Dave Ramsey's baby steps, maybe another method, it doesn't matter. Because you didn't fail because you're weak or undisciplined. You failed because no one prepared you for the mental war that comes with getting out of debt. The emotional fatigue, the discouragement when progress feels slow, the temptation to quit when everyone around you is spending while you're cutting back. And that changes today, because in 2026 you're not starting over, you're starting right. Dave Ramsey's 7 baby steps are one of the most well-known financial plans in the world. And for good reason they work. Millions of people know this method and have gotten out of debt. But there's a statistic nobody talks about. A significant percentage of people who start this plan quit halfway through. And it's not because the plan is bad. It's because the plan only tells you what to do. But nobody prepares you for how to mentally sustain it when the fatigue hits, the discouragement sets in, and the urge to quit takes over. And that's what we're going to solve today. You'll see the 7 steps, but more importantly, you'll learn how not to quit on each one of them. Before we dive into the 7 steps, you need to understand the 3 mental pillars that will sustain your financial plan when everything feels impossible. The first pillar is the truth map. It's looking at your financial numbers head-on, without drama, without shame. Just clarity. Because without knowing where you are, you can't map the path to where you want to go. And without clarity, your mind seeks escape. And financial escape always generates more expenses. The second pillar is the $100 momentum system. Your brain only understands progress when it's visible. Every $100 saved, every $100 paid toward debt. These are micro wins that keep you alive in the journey. Because financial transformation isn't about one big leap. It's about small, consistent steps that generate momentum. And the third pillar is the reset system. You will slip up, you will make an impulsive purchase, you will have a bad day, and that's okay. What matters isn't never falling. It's having a system to get back up quickly. The reset system is the 24 to 48-hour protocol that puts you back on track without guilt, without drama, without throwing everything away. It's the difference between a slip and a total collapse. The first step is straightforward. Build a small emergency fund around $1,000. Sounds like too little, but studies show that 63% of Americans can't cover an unexpected $500 expense. That means most people are one flat tire away from going into debt. And this is where many people freeze. The mind creates traps. I'll wait for the perfect moment. I'll only save when I have a lot left over. This won't make a difference anyway. Procrastination disguised as planning. And while you wait for the perfect moment, life happens and throws you back into debt. The mental shift in step 1 is understanding that this fund isn't about wealth, it's about stability. It's the foundation that holds up the rest of the plan. It's the truth map in action. You look at your numbers and decide you're no longer going to live one emergency away from financial collapse. Here's what you do this week. Set aside $50 per week, the equivalent of 2 Starbucks runs, 1 canceled food delivery, or a subscription nobody uses. Put it automatically into a separate account. In 20 weeks, you have your $1,000. This fund isn't for vacation. It's not for maybe. It's exclusively for when the car breaks down, the fridge stops working, or you have a medical emergency. And here's what's interesting. When you have this saved, your brain relaxes. You stop living in constant survival mode. The second step is the famous debt snowball. If you saw my previous video, you already know the mechanics. List your debts from smallest to largest and attack the first one with absolute focus. If you haven't seen it yet, don't worry. I'll give you the essentials now. But check out the previous video later, where I explore the 3 mental traps that kill the snowball momentum. Link in the description. What I want to emphasize here is this. This is the step where most people quit. And it's not from lack of knowledge. It's because you hit the day 60 wall. The first 30 to 45 days, exciting. You pay off the first small debt, feel the victory, get motivated. But when you reach the big debt, that $8,000 credit card, that $15,000 loan, progress slows down. And then your mind starts whispering, this will take years, it's not worth it, everyone has debt anyway. It's the fatigue of the long process. And this is where 80% of people throw in the towel. The mental shift in step 2 is transforming this long process into weekly visible wins. It's the $100 momentum system saving you. You don't look at the $15,000 remaining. You celebrate the $500 you paid this month. You don't measure what's left, you measure how much you've advanced. And when discouragement hits, and it will hit, you use the reset system. 24 to 48 hours of mental adjustment, no guilt, and back on track. Here's the basic. List all debts from smallest to largest. Pay minimum on all except the first. Attack the first with gazelle intensity. But the part that saves you in the long run, change the metric. Every week, calculate how much interest you avoided paying to the bank with your extra efforts. Create a chart that only shows interest rescued, not the remaining debt. You're not paying debt. You're beating the system that kept you trapped. This perspective shift is the difference between quitting on day 60 and making it to the end. The third step is building your full emergency fund, 3 to 6 months of expenses. This is the financial shield that protects you from any storm. And here many people slip up because they confuse having money left over with having security. Security isn't the change left at the end of the month. The classic mental sabotage at this point is the idea that I'll save when I can, but it never happens because life always invents a new emergency. Or worse, you just paid off a big debt and your brain wants to compensate. That urge to buy something because you deserve it hits hard. The shift happens when you start seeing this fund as your financial shield. It's the truth map showing you reality. You can't build wealth if you remain vulnerable to every setback. This fund isn't luxury, it's armor. It's the foundation that prevents every setback from turning into more debt. In practice, calculate your essential monthly expenses: housing, food, transportation, insurance, utilities. Multiply by 3, that's minimum. Or 6, that's ideal if your income is unstable. Set a fixed automatic amount, weekly or bi-weekly, until you get there. Treat it as a mandatory bill. You pay your reserve before anything else. It doesn't need to be perfect, it just needs to be consistent. And every week you maintain this commitment, you feel less vulnerable and more in control of your own financial life. The fourth step is where you finally start building real wealth. Invest 15% of your income in retirement. Not 10%, not 20%, 15%. This is where many people freeze from fear or confusion. When you've never invested, everything seems too risky. The first common mistake is thinking you need a lot of money to start. The second mistake is wanting to accelerate too much and skip steps. Your mind creates paralysis. What if I choose wrong? What if I lose everything? What if it's a scam? Result, you stay stuck. And while you wait for the perfect moment, inflation eats away at your purchasing power. The mental adjustment in this step is understanding that investing isn't about speed, it's about direction. It's the $100 momentum system again. Start small, but start now. Accept that growth requires time, patience, and simple choices. Here's the basic. If your company offers 401k match, start there, it's free money. Beyond the match, prioritize Roth IRA. If you still haven't reached 15%, add more to traditional 401k. Don't know where to invest? Start with index funds, low cost, automatic diversification, and historically delivers solid returns. The S&P 500, for example, averages 10% per year over the last 30 years. If you invest $500 per month with an average 10% return, in 30 years you have over $1 million. Automate it. Set it to leave your account every month before you think about spending. The fifth step is starting to save for your children's education. There's no fixed number here, it depends on their age and your goals. But the logic is clear. Your kids can't go into debt for college. The sabotage here comes from two sides. Either you put it off because they're still young, or you try to do everything at once and get lost. Some people skip step 4, investing for themselves, to prioritize kids' college. Big mistake. Because there's a 100% chance you'll retire. There's less than a 50% chance your kid will go to college and graduate. The mental shift is understanding. You take care of you first. Because if you reach retirement broke, you become a financial burden to your kids. It's the truth map working. Prioritizing your own stability isn't selfishness, it's strategy. If your kids are young, start with $100 to $200 per month in a 529 plan. If they're teenagers, be realistic. Community college for 2 years plus public state university for the last 2 years saves a lot. And teach your kids to work while they study. Scholarships exist. Student loans are not inevitable, they're a bad choice disguised as necessity. The sixth step is paying off your home. Completely, zero mortgage debt. Sounds impossible. Most people who follow this plan do it in 7 to 8 years. This is where fatigue hits hard, because this step is long. Unlike paying off a $500 credit card in 2 months, Paying off a $250,000 house takes years. Your mind starts whispering, it doesn't make a difference, it'll take too long, everyone has a mortgage anyway. And you ease up. Go back to spending more, think it's good enough like this. The mental shift is transforming this long journey into 30-day micro-projects. It's the $100 momentum system applied on a larger scale. Every $5,000 paid, you celebrate. Every year, you recalculate how much time is left. And visualize, what will your life be like without a house payment? Take any extra money, bonuses, tax returns, salary increases, and throw it straight at the mortgage as additional principal payment. Make extra payments of $200 to $500 per month. Sounds small? On a $200,000 mortgage at 4%, extra payments of $300 per month cut 11 years off the term and save over $60,000 in interest. When you pay off that house, you'll have total freedom. Your cost of living drops dramatically, and now you build wealth fast. The 7th step is where everything changes. Build wealth and be generous. You have no more debt. Your house is paid off. Now all your money works for you, not against you. The most common mistake here is relaxation. People who zero out debts, build a reserve, start investing, and then ease up. It's like the brain says, mission accomplished. Now I can go back to autopilot. But it's precisely now that you refine everything. Review expenses, increase contributions, optimize investments, strengthen retirement. The key mental piece in this step is understanding that wealth is a habit, not an event. It's the reset system working. You don't go back to old patterns. You maintain financial discipline, but now with more freedom. Here's the simple rule: 60% for essential living, 30% for continuous investments, 10% to improve your quality of life intelligently. Keep investing aggressively. Diversify. Consider real estate, businesses, international indexes, and increase your generosity. Donate to causes that matter. Help people who are where you used to be. Real wealth isn't about having the biggest salary. It's about having options. It's waking up and choosing to work, not needing to work. It's being able to help those you love. It's building a legacy. You just saw the 7 steps. But let me be direct with you, knowing isn't doing. The difference between those who transform 2026 and those who stay stuck is execution. So here's what you do this week, not next month, not when you're ready, this week. Action 1. Create your truth map. Sit down, grab paper, and write everything. Your income, your expenses, your debts, your current reserve. Real numbers, no drama, no shame, just clarity. And if you share finances with someone, do this together. There's no point in one person fighting alone for financial reconstruction while the other is spending without knowing the real situation. There are cases where one partner doesn't even know the real financial situation, and when they realize it, it's too late. In comments on finance videos, you see hundreds of stories like this. People who discovered huge debts because there was never transparency in the relationship. This is one of the hidden reasons for failure that nobody talks about: lack of financial transparency between those who share life. If you're not on the same page, you're rowing in opposite directions. So sit together without judgment, without guilt, put everything on the table, and build the plan together. This open dialogue is as important as the numbers themselves. Action 2. Choose your first step. If you don't have $1,000 saved, your focus is 100% on step 1. If you do, go to step 2. Don't try to do everything at once. Action 3. Set up an automatic transfer. Even if it's just $25 per week. Automate before you spend. And remember the 3 pillars. Use the truth map for clarity. Celebrate every win with the $100 momentum system. And when you slip, and you will slip, Use the reset system to get back on track in 24 to 48 hours. 2026 can be the year your financial life finally changes, but only if you act. If you're starting 2026 determined to change your financial life, I want to know. Comment below, I'm in. And if this video helped you, leave a like. It helps other people in the same situation find this content. In the next video, I'm going to show you how to accelerate step 2, how to pay off debt faster without sacrificing your mental sanity. You won't want to miss it. See you there.